Let's talk about FP Journe. Now, usually I do videos on brands like Rolex, Patek Philippe, stuff like that, because it's what I've been doing in the bulk of my 15-year career, buying, selling, and trading watches. But that doesn't mean that I haven't been following very closely the brand FP Journe. Now, first thing I want to say is I love the brand. I think it's one of the few independents, part of the independent mob, that has been able to break out and completely transcend and make their own lane. I feel like a lot of the independent brands still are kind of like insider baseball. They're not definitely out there in hype. And I think that's what most of the independent watch buyers like. They want something different that's not in the norm and not as common. But FP Journe is that one brand that has done something completely different. I'm not even sure right now at this moment if any other brand has done what they have done just yet. What makes FP Journe so great is artistic brilliance, technical innovation, and ridiculous scarcity. That is what makes it so prestigious. That's what people want, and that's what they attract to. But the bigger question that I have seen in the last year, and especially in the last 6 months, is FP Journe headed in a bubble? Is it a bubble? Is the whole hype around it a bubble? That's what I want to have a conversation about. All right, here's the deal. I have said in the past that, and I've been highly criticized about it, and I get it. I can see why. You know, that I feel that one of the most overhyped watches is FP Journe. But allow me to explain. What I mean by when I say that, to me, it's one of the most overhyped brands, I'm not saying that they're not great. I'm not saying that it's trash with overinflated prices. I just feel that there's some type of artificial manipulation going on with the prices. But we're going to discuss that right now, and let's take it from the top. Number one, they are the masters, in my opinion, in, these independent watchmakings. The watches that they make, nobody else does. They have such unique products that I just don't really think anybody else can touch them in that sense. What they have accomplished, really hard to replicate. Their following is definitely cult-like. Another thing I want to say is the buyers of FP Journe are very specific, okay? Very specific guys. Usually they're very educated, very intelligent guys, and they have been around the block. And sure, there are guys that collect FP Journe that never owned a Rolex and never cared to. But FP Journe definitely is a different league of its own. And it's because of that I start to wonder about the overly inflated, hyped prices on the gray market. So when I say that I feel that it's one of the most overhyped watches, I feel that it has to do with the hype prices in the gray market. And the reason I say this is because I just don't really see them transacting. I just don't. I've sold many FP Journes in my career, and very few guys walk in and pay over retail 6, 7, 8 times over retail for a watch like that. A lot of them are usually very aristocratic, very classy dudes, very smart, intelligent people. They will work the boutiques, they will get in line, they will wait, and they will get one at retail. Most of the guys that I have talked to that have FP Journe were able to get them at retail. And I have been able to sell every now and then a couple in the gray market, but not for these grotesque prices. So here's my deal. This is the bone that I have to pick with FP Journe. Let's start with the Elegante. Now, I think the Elegante is cool as shit. I mean, do I want one? I mean, it's not on my immediate hit list, especially with the crazy prices that they have right now. The Elegante is a breakthrough in innovation. I think at one moment, Journe said, you know what? We're going to make a cheaper model. We're going to make it quartz. But on top of that, he says, we're going to make the coolest quartz model probably that ever lived. Unless we're counting in classic Casios and stuff like that from the 90s or the 80s. I think those are low-key grill pieces. But they went ahead and designed this amazing piece of machinery, which, again, there's where they lead by innovation, cool factor. Has a retail of $17,000. For quite some time there, those watches were selling in the gray market for double retail, $30K. Look, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think when you compare to a Daytona, I love having the Daytona as the comparison. If a Daytona retails for $14,000 to $16,000 and they were going at one moment for $50,000 and they're overly mass produced, forget about the fact that it's an automatic movement for a second, but it's a watch that's in so many of them have been made and there's so many out there. For a piece like an F.P. Journe Elegante, which pretty much they make what, 300 a year? I think that's the watch that they most make, the Elegante. You know, I don't think it's a big deal to pay double retail, even triple retail. See, the main watch that caused me to do this video right now is the fact that the Elegante right now is going for $100K. I think that is insane. I think it's absurd. I'm not hating on it. I mean, hey, hopefully it stays there. Why not? I have nothing to lose or gain by the Elegante being that price. I just don't really think that the buyers are paying that much for the watch. I really don't think so. Now, I have seen in my dealer chats, fortunately, I got to use them because that's how I find watches and stuff like that. And I have seen a couple of serious dealers, no joke type of people that have sold orders for them and they're willing to pay 100 grand. And that to me is just insane. Now, there's no doubt that a couple people probably did buy an Elegante over 100K. To me, it's just, why is it at that price? Let's go over a couple of the factors. Number one, FP Journe is this type of brand that if you're gonna get to the point where you finally buy it at retail, you better believe that if you sell that watch, they're gonna find out. It's just too small of a network. They will find out. A good way to explain it is, small company, big brand. They will find out. So a lot of these watches, if you're gonna buy a 2025 Elegante, you're gonna pay the premium because number one, the people that usually buy them don't really wanna sell them. And the few that do are risking it big time. Another problem is current auction prices. You see, the current auction prices is where I really feel that this starts to get very interesting and funny. I was pulling up the recent Phillips auctions from this year. We're not talking that far away, May and June. And you have an Elegante right here that sold for, at the Geneva watch auction, sold for 82,550 Swiss francs. When you convert that into US dollar, you're over 100K. And that possibly may not even include the auction fee. And there's a ton of other amazing watches there that are over retail. Now, some of these are really badass and unique pieces. Those are not the ones I'm talking about. But 100K for the Elegante in auction, it makes you really wonder, who bought this watch? Is it really a hardcore collector? I mean, for 100K, you could probably pick up another FP Journe, equally as badass, equally as important, you know. Just makes you want to wonder, is it really a real purchase, or is perhaps some of these big, huge gray market resale corporations, we're not even going to say one guy, we're talking about these big gray market conglomerates that appear to have a cornering of the FP Journe market in the gray market, or maybe are they buying them? I'm just throwing ideas out there. It seems a little weird to me. Now, some of you folks at home are going to say, well, some of these guys have FU money. They don't want to wait in line. They just want to buy these watches. I don't know. Again, I think that the core base clientele for FP Journe is a lot smarter than that. Now, that's not to say that in the last 5 years, especially with the weird run that happened in the watch world with COVID prices and all that, you know, there's many people that have infiltrated the brand that they're really not about watches. They're just more about opportunities. Sure, there's going to be guys like that. that also kind of creates some lift in the market. But these prices, you know, I don't know. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong, which is why I want to open up the comments and see if anybody out there themselves have purchased any of these Elegantes at 100K, 70K, 80K. Guys, I think anywhere up to 50K, it's fair game. I mean, if you got the money and you want to spend it, spend it. I'm just really thinking, is FP Journe a bubble? I sat there and I went down the rabbit hole and read a bunch of different articles on this because, you know, I've recently just become obsessed by this. I've already been trailing it for a while, but I really thought, what is going on here? I feel at times that the FP Journe situation right now is a combination of market manipulation, a bubble, and extreme scarcity. Yeah, I feel that it's becoming more popular. People want it. People want to have that exclusive watch. Same reason why I, for some might think, overpaid for my 1978 sub. Haven't seen another one like it. People want that exclusivity. There just isn't enough of them to go around, and people are holding on to them. Now, when I say bubble, let's be clear here. I don't ever foresee, ever, for the bubble to explode, assuming that there is one, which I think there is, and for FP Journe to be worth anything. I don't foresee FP Journe to ever be a Frank Mueller or a Hublot or any one of those brands because, let's face it, you know, they have the product. The product is there. The product is unique and the product is rare. But there could be a correction. I don't see how there can't be a correction in the Elegante at least. At least in the Elegante. I mean, at some point it has to happen. And if it doesn't, I will stand corrected. You know, just doesn't seem right. You know, like even Rolex, even the Daytona has corrected. And, you know, I even thought it was insane when the handle was 55K. I was like, are you kidding me? And when you see now a $17,000 retail watch go 6X, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I can sit there and bounce around all these ideas and thoughts, but the reality is that Journe has something that not too many other brands have right now. And it's technical brilliance, limited supply, and brand narrative. You know, they really are running it up right now, and the following is growing. But keep in mind what I have just said. The guys that buy FP Journe are very specific buyers. They're not the regular guys. They're not the guys that just came to money real quick and want to spend 100K on a watch. I feel that those type of guys would buy, you know, a Rolex with some gems on it, things like that. FP Journe is a very understated, a very classy, and a very niche cult watch. And the buyers are also like that as well. These guys are usually very intelligent with their money. They just don't throw their money away. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with this FP Journe thing. And me, of all people, I'm going to be watching closely. I personally love the brand. I haven't had many opportunities yet to buy any for myself. I guess I'm not there in my watch collecting journey. I would probably own an Elegante one day, and I would pay in the 30s and the 40s. I know that's not where they are right now, but 100K, not going to happen. And for most FP Journe guys, they're not paying that either. That's just the reality. But I also think that the main thing that has pushed this narrative in the last 6 months for the prices to soar are the auction results. And you know what? Maybe it is what it is. Or maybe there's more that we're not seeing. I don't know. I think it's something to really think about. Who is buying these watches? Are they really Journe collectors? I don't know. Just when something is so abnormal, you have to really think about it and take a look. But overall, I'm going to repeat this again. When I said bubble, never is it going to mean that FP Journe is going to blow up and be worth nothing. I don't foresee that ever happening to a brand like that. So the comments are open. Go ahead and give me some information down there. What do you think? What do you feel about FP Journe? What is going on? Is it a bubble? Is it hype? What do you feel? Comment and let me know. And if you like this video, like and share it.